everyone. It's Jerry David here, along with Charles Vandenouden and the NEC. We'd like to welcome you to the 2018 image competition, our little video instruction series. I just did one on Lightroom naming presets, and in order to make my life easier, and I said I would look into doing the same thing for Photoshop. Well, there are no Photoshop naming presets insofar as I can tell. And so what I've done is, I've done this before, and I've developed a little bit of a method myself that I do here, and I will show you how I do it. So as I'm getting close to knowing which images that I'm going to be saving, and you know, what I've done is I've gone into one of my old accreditations to find 4 images, so they're the wrong size and everything, and they're already named something. But what I do is I create on my desktop a folder, and in this case I call it PPOC 2018 image competition, and I might have other folders in here like PSD, I might have finalists, different things that I you know, different levels. I'll have pictures at different sets in their life and where I expect them to be. But what I don't have is what I don't have. What I have in here is also something called the PS naming presets. And what that is when an image is close to the end. So I've got this image. Here's one, for example. Oh, I really like this. I'm going to enter it. I've done my Photoshop work. I've done everything. I've dropped it on a mat. It's the right size. I'm going to export it as a JPEG. And what I've done is I've created this Photoshop, or this naming presets folder that I will copy from another area to this folder. So I'm going to do an export here, and an export is just Command Option Shift Command Option W, and I can export it. So I'm going to export this as 100% JPEG. You can see it's the wrong size. It's an old accreditation. Let's just pretend it's the right size. I'm going to say Export All. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my desktop folder. Here's my 2018 competition, and here's my PS naming presets. Well, look at this. Boom. I click on number 1. I know that this is A965 is me. I know that -1 is my what I want this image to be, and now I just have to put a name in. A965, horse racing. Done. I'm going to export this into finalists, and I'm finished with this one. Close it out. All right. Don't save. Here's one. Let me just export this one now. All right. Can you tell this was in animal sports that I did this particular one? Again, JPEG 100%, etc., etc. Export all. Go to my desktop. Go to my folder. Go to my naming presets. This one's going to be number 2. I'm going to call this one sheep herding. Really creative with my names. Click on finalists, stick it in there, and done, and then 2 more to go. The reason I'm hitting don't save is because these are in a different folder as an accreditation. I don't want to lose track of what I've done. All right, export. By the way, one nice thing about I save my JPEGs as 8-bit, and I'll show you that actually later when I show you how to export in the proper size. All right, naming presets. I've already got 1. I've already got 2. This one's going to be number 3, and this one is called cattle herding, or I don't know. Just gotta don't save. And then the final one is chuck wagon. All right, here we go. Okay, I've done it. So that's basically what I would call Photoshop naming presets. Finalists. See, I saved that other one to the wrong area. Okay, I'm going to go fix that because it's going to bug me. Cattle herding should be going into finalists. So now I've got this folder with my 4 images. Okay, and they're all properly named, which is wonderful, and very wonderful for me as well. Okay, as your image competition chair, there's nothing like seeing some proper naming. Another way to do this is to bring the images themselves into a folder on your desktop and then resynchronize that desktop folder with Lightroom. So I'm going to close out of, so let's say I've done my Photoshop here and I'm only going to work on one image here. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to export this. Sorry, I got to get back into, I'm going to export this image and I'm not going to care about the name. So again, this is JPEG, this is a Chuckwagon. So I'm just going to call this number 4 Chuckwagon. Let's pretend that's correct. And that's where I want to be. I'm going to go into image competition here. I'm going to create a new folder. Sorry, new folder. I'm going to call this rename in LR, create, and I'm going to export here. Okay, I'm going to close out of Photoshop now. So now what I have is an improperly named image. Get out of here. And I'm going to go into Lightroom. Okay, in Lightroom, I can, first of all, I can go look at my, resynchronize this folder here and show you that the images are named properly. So remember I had a finalists one here. Here it is, they add them. And here they are, finalists. And as you can see, horse racing, sheep herding, you can see the names up here. All right. Make the thumbnails just a bit bigger so you can see the names. Okay, so you can see the names up here. Okay, another option is, remember I called this one rename in LR. Okay, so here it is here. It's a JPEG, I just called it 4 Chuckwagon. Well, I can actually use my Lightroom file naming preset here and just re-export it. Re-export it. You're gonna see this in the last video I did. I believe it was PPOC Image Comp 3. I'm gonna call this one Chuckwagon. I got some file settings here that I wouldn't use normally. Sorry, I just have it here for that. Okay, and I'm going to call this one Chuckwagon 1, and I'm going to put it on the desktop, or into the original folder actually, rather than on the desktop. I'm going to export it to the same folder as the original folder, but I'm going to put it in a subfolder called Finalists 2. Export. All right, so I did that export. So now what's happened is if I go to my desktop and I look at my image competition, I've got finalists here. Here's those 4 that I did straight out of Photoshop, but also in my rename in LR, I've got this finalist one here, and I used my Lightroom naming preset and just re-exported this 4 Chuckwagon to get it named properly. The point is there's lots of great ways to remind yourself how to name things properly, so please take advantage of them. It helps me out a lot, and it makes image competition a lot easier for you because I don't have to get in touch with you and get you renaming things, and yeah, much easier. Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next video tutorial shortly, and we'll talk to you soon.